Live, love, learn with Courtney. Hi guys, how are you? How you guys doing? So today we have the author of Bracketville Books with us. I'm so excited. I'm gonna let some people come in the room. Clearly we are outside today. I'm excited. This is my first outdoor live event. So our guest is here today. Let's kind of get going and get started. So good afternoon. We're waiting for the author himself, TJ the Closer, to come on in. Woo!
What up?
Hey, so how are you? It's wonderful to have you. I know I have this outdoor ambiance going on. I know the outdoors is the most perfect place to read. And since we had an author coming on, I said we might as well be outdoor because this is my favorite place to get it in. Good afternoon, Dr. Blake. How are you? Just came in. We have some people coming into the room.
I was about to say I'm not Dr. Blake.
No, I'm just reading the comments.
Okay.
So just to do a quick check-in, just let the people know your name and who you are, and then I'm going to go in and start with the question.
All right, cool. But hold on, wait. My face is kind of dark. Can I adjust my lighting real quick?
Sure, go ahead. Take your
All right,
time.
give me 1 second.
All right. So while he does that, I just want you guys to know he has created so many books. Like, what you see in front of you is not even the scope of what this Black author has done. I am excited to get into what he has to offer. I know that this is going to be amazing, and I can't wait to see how much curriculum is changed as a result of what he is able to offer. So welcome,
All right, I think it's a
those
little
of
better.
you. Yes, your lighting does look better.
All right, cool.
Yes, those of you that are coming in, welcome. Nice to see you guys. Hey, Michael, how are you?
Yo, Michael, what's up, baby?
So, all
Talk to
right,
me.
PJ, or
What's up?
excuse me, I wasn't supposed to say your name. Who are you?
Oh man, I'm PJ. My name is PJ the Closer. Well, Paul Johnson Jr. But I write as PJ the Closer. It's kind of like my moniker is like who I write as. It's my little alter ego. And it just allows me to really zone in and deliver the messages the way I want to through the artwork, through the writing, through the music, through the pillows, through all kind. Yo, hold on, wait. Let me show y'all one of my pillows. But look, this don't come till next. I can't even tell y'all when this pillow's coming, man. This is how crazy it's gonna
So
get.
before we get to merch, right? Because I know you have so much going on, and I'm so excited
I
for
can't give
what
him
you
everything.
have
I
to
can't give him
offer.
everything.
Yes, not yet. You gotta hold back a little bit, right?
All right.
So, just to do a mental health check-in, how have you been considering this creative process? You've been taking a long time to write, to develop, to produce, to sell, and to kind of drop things off. So I really just want to kind of do a mental health check-in to see how you are.
Oh well, thank you. To be quite honest, I'm screwed up. This process has been like nothing I've ever done in my life. I mean, like literally locking myself in the room for 14 hours, 15 straight hours. And sometimes it feels like it's dragging. Sometimes it feels like an eye blink. But no, this has not been easy. This is literally the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. Just building it from the bottom up. So yeah, I actually do have days where I'm mad depressed. I have days where I feel like I can take over the world. I have days where I just can't get out of bed. I have days where I'm going door to door selling these books. I walked up in Barnes and Nobles and I told them, well, before the COVID, I just walked in Barnes and Nobles and I was just like, look, man, y'all gonna need my book. And they were just like, well, do you have this? Do you have? I'm like, yup, checklist. So it's just one of those days where I feel like I can put on the cape and take over the world. But there are definitely days where I just need to be left alone. There's days that I cry, to keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? There's days that I cry. There's days that I laugh. There's days that I accidentally take out frustration or whatever on other people by accident. There's days I just gotta sit down and pour up a Henry. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, to be honest though, these days are not easy. But I'm okay. I'm working through it.
What I can say, for those of you that don't know, I've had the privilege of being able to read and to get into PJ's books, and I am Team Bracketville Billy Goats all day.
Woo!
And we will get into what Bracketville is. So Taylor, we have a few people coming in the chat. Hey Jeanette, how are you? Hi Taylor, how are you? I just want to get into what Bracketville is, right? So you're telling us that you're writing, and as you're writing, you're kind of going through this process of art. Art can cause depression. Art can cause creativity. Art can cause growth, because we don't always know or have a definitive response to what or where our art will go. But what I can say is that seeing your artwork and seeing your novels, seeing the clothes, seeing the pillows, seeing everything that you have to offer the community, right? Seeing the let me not stop. Hold on. Seeing the creativity, right? Seeing the determination, seeing the continuity, seeing the perseverance, seeing the dedication, right? What you have to offer, I believe, is going to change how we view literacy in our communities. I believe that Black and brown communities, by accessing your work, will have an excitement not only for their children, but for their families. You have touched on concepts in your novel that are historical, from even small things like the referee being referteedy. Like, you have, right? You have touched on so many different historical concepts and placed it in a literary world that you are able to unite generations. And I think that you have something on your hands that the world is dying for. So with that being said, please let us know, what is Bracketville? How did it begin? And how do we invest?
We'll get to
how do we buy, right?
All right, so Bracketville Books was just something that, you know, it I want to say it poured out of me, you know, but that's the easy version. What I will say is my goal with Bracketville Books was, well, first I want to tell you where the inspiration came from. When I was back in high school, there was this, I was a really big college basketball fan, and there was a commercial called, Bracketville. So in the commercial, they had all of these college teams, you know, going against each other. Now they call it something else. They call it bracketology. You know, everybody gets their brackets and they go, it's called bracketology. But I thought about that, and I was just like, man, you know, if I could have a career doing something with basketball, you know, I would do it. You know, I would do it. So I kind of just thought about the three things that I'm good at in life. And honestly, it wasn't just three, but these are the three main things, and things that I've always been good at since I was a kid, which was artwork, sketching. You know, I always did that. I always had a thing for books, reading and writing, always had a thing for books. And then basketball, like many other kids in the hoods, in the ghettos, wherever, it's almost like a first language, you know. Man, kids be dribbling the basketball in their crib, you know, before they could even read, you know. So my whole thing with Bracketville was, look, sometimes you can teach basketball through education, but what if we flip it? What if we use basketball to teach kids as opposed to, you know, education to teach basketball, basketball to teach education? So I figured if I was able to sugarcoat the vitamins, right? Because, you know, you always got to give the kids vitamins, but they don't like the way it tastes. You got to feed them vegetables. They don't like the way it tastes. But if a vegetable looked like a candy cane, they might eat it. You know what I'm saying? So I figured if I can use basketball to teach kids basic math, basic science, basic literature, why not, right? So if you look at the front of this book, it actually has measurements, you know, of the backboard, and then it has all kinds of shapes all in it and bright colors and stuff like that. So the goal was to definitely teach kids regular everyday things through a sport and through a language that they already know. So once I made that commitment, I just started ODing. You know, I just started pouring it on. And as soon as I started, look, I'm gonna tell you something. It started with me writing movie script. So I decided to take the movie script and break it up into 6 segments so that I could, you know, do a web series, or after it's done, pitch it to somebody, whatever. But either way, though, I started out writing 6 scripts, right?
And for those of you that don't know, prior to being an author, he's a playwright. Tribeca Film Festival
Oh
sold
yeah.
out. Like, he has done
Twice.
so much work twice. So please understand that this is a history of work coming together so that ideas can come to fruition. So please continue.
Yeah, nah, this wasn't an overnight thing at all. This was crazy because going all the way back to like 2000. Well, I'll start in high school. In high school, I went to high school. I went to the High School of Art and Design, the High School of Art and Design. I don't even know what LaGuardia is. You heard? I don't even know what graphic arts is. You heard? Art and Design. So I went to A&D, and I was an architecture major, and then I switched over to fine arts. And then in college, I went to SUNY Old Westbury, not Stony Brook, not Columbia, not the rest of y'all lane. No, I'm just kidding.
Timo
Um,
West.
Timo West, you know what time it is. And then I went to Old Westbury for English. So taking my art and my English and I put it together, I was like, yo, what if I could write a play? So then at Old Westbury, I wrote 4 plays. No, I wrote 3 at Old Westbury and 1 off Broadway. One outside of Old Westbury, which was actually off Broadway. And then I did a documentary for my frat in 2011, Tribeca, and I sold that out twice. And then, from there it was doing all of the 4th of July weekend activities with the frats and the sororities, where I did the basketball tournament for 13 straight years. We, did all kinds of punch outs and picnics and things of that nature. And it kind of just seemed like I was being groomed, like I was being groomed for these things. And once I committed to teaching these kids, because that's really just what it was, because I always told myself that, if I could, just teach basketball for a living, I would, so I'm not really an X's and O's guy when it comes to coaching, but I can teach basketball. I can teach kids how to shoot. I can teach them how to play. I can teach them how to I can teach them defensive, but then I was like, man, that's not enough. What else could I do? More. So then I was just like, man, and then going back to the movie scripts. So then I did the scripts. I did 6 of those. But then I was like, man, it's kind of difficult to write these characters without seeing what they look like. So then I started sketching the characters. And then I was like, man, they look kind of cartoonish for an adult series, so let me just take it down a little. And then I started tossing around ideas with Castro and Sap. And the Castro and Sap, my first book, Castro and Sap, The Immaculate Plan, to Ernst and Byrne, it started out as a short story because I just wanted to be able to put together enough to hire a writer to write it for me. Then I started sketching, and I said, man, I'm just going to sketch enough to hire an artist to do the drawing for me. By the time I was done sketching, by the time I was done outlining the novel, I didn't want nobody to touch it. I didn't want nobody to touch it.
You was like, this is my baby, and I'm going to run with it. This is my baby,
son. This is my baby. Not only is this my baby, but, people get caught up in perfection, right? And I said, yo, my whole life I've been enamored with perfection. Like, oh, this has got to be done. This is, I'm really trying to dot my I's and cross my T's. With Bracketville, I took the approach of, it ain't got to be perfect. It just got to be popping.
And one thing that I appreciate about it, because I was there when you first came up with the idea of Bracketville.
Yeah,
right?
People thought I was crazy.
Yeah, everybody was kind of like, he wants to do what? How is he going to get it done? And watching you work has been phenomenal. And to see this product that you have developed is pretty amazing. So for those of you that don't know, PJ the Closer is my big brother. Hey, gotta think I was gonna let y'all know that. Hey, so but what I want you to see here, Dr. Blake said his children went to art and design. You have another comment. Everything takes time. Life really grooms us all.
We were separated at birth, Dr. Blake. We gotta meet, so you can't we gotta meet.
So you will meet him. You will meet him at our summit that we're having in the fall. We're gonna have a situation where DOE vendors really get to come in and meet different principals. So you will see that September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at the BU Summit. Guys, please look out and watch out for it. It's going to be amazing. It's really kind of hitting in on what you are talking about in your novel. So thinking about, and it's so crazy because we had 2 completely different ideas, right? When I started the summit, my idea was, hey, how am I going to educate the masses on what's happening in our society and make it fun interesting and engaging. And then you did the same thing in a literary concept. So
Crazy.
when we came together, it was like, well, we separated at birth. Like, I know we broke
Word
up.
up. Word up. Word up. And I'm also not going to say that BU could also be initials for Bracketville University. I'm not going to say that. Look how it linked, though. You feel me? Look how it linked. This is organic. Like, it's almost like this was supposed to happen, yo. This is crazy.
I agree. So let's get back into your work, right? You have the first novel out, Castro and Sap, The Immaculate Plan to Earn Some Burn. Dr. Blake said, tell him to get at me. We need to get his books in our schools. I'm with it. We're definitely going to get on it. So, Castro and Sap, The Immaculate Plan to Earn Some Burn is really for that junior high school age. But you also have some baby books. What's that about?
All right. So with the way it opened up was I finished the novel and I just thought, man, like, I never really knew what went into a novel because I don't know anybody that's written any novel. So with the Immaculate Plan to Earn Some Burn, it was like, like I said, it started out as a short story and then I just started expanding. And then before you know it was 256 pages of work. You understand me? So with that, it was like, all right, well, it feels good, but more. It needs more. It needs more because although it reaches the demographic that I was, aiming for, which are junior high school kids, late elementary, early, junior high school, because I don't want to say high school because I got something else for them. But, with reaching the junior high school level, I was just like, man, that's not low enough in age. I want to get them sooner. So,
early childhood intervention is where it's at. Go ahead.
Word. So once I did that, I was like, man, I had an idea to do a book with shapes, but I didn't know how it was gonna come together. So what I did was I took basketball, I took shapes, lines, and angles, and I cut them together.
Can we see one of the pages if you don't mind? So that's the baby. That's the ABC book. I want to. Yeah, there we go. So the backboard is a rectangle, is what it says, because I know Instagram makes it a little backwards. But this book is phenomenal for those of you that have little ones that are just starting and learning how to read, really getting out there, trying to get those concepts.
Yeah.
Instead of forcing you to learn what an angle is in the classroom, you learn it by actually being on the court, right? By looking at what it is. So go ahead, Pete.
And Pete, I'm actually, I'm really teaching. The story's on this side, but all of the angles and things of that nature is on this side, so I'm telling them what types of triangles there are, and then I'm relating it to Phil Jackson and his triangle offense in basketball, so like I'm really going in. And also too, this is all by hand. I use zero Photoshop, you know what I'm saying? Because and it's not to toot my own horn or anything like that, but that's just how much it was pouring out of me. Photoshop wasn't moving fast enough. You know what I'm saying? So once I got my hand on the first of all, I had to retrain my hands from being in high school, right? In high school, you use your hands all the time. But when you get to college and after that, everything is Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, all of those things. And they were cool for, they were cool for the time being, but when you design newspapers and flyers and billboards and all of those things, it's like the better you get, the quicker you can pull things from other places, right? So like you could get a stencil that's a triangle, you could pull that. You could get some smoke that somebody used from somewhere else, you could pull that. Somebody's picture, use different fonts that other people created, and for the time being it works. But with this, I just took all of that out. I just took all of it out. I said, yo, if I can't do this by hand, then maybe I don't deserve it. So I pushed myself, push. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up doing everything by hand. So this is that backboard is a rectangle book. And then to take them down another so I had covered junior high school, and then with backboard is a rectangle, I had covered elementary school. And this is a real elementary school book because, like I said, I covered third grade things, fourth grade things, fifth grade things, right? Angles, lines, shapes, and basketball, right? So I made it fun for everybody. And really, it's just one long story about an older sister and her younger brother going to the park to play a one-on-one. You know, so it's still a story, right? Because I'm a writer, so I couldn't avoid that.
So hold on, because you
Yeah.
said that. So for those of you that don't know, PJ and I used to go to the court and play basketball together. He was training me to play ball. So it's so
Word.
funny that in his story, instead it's the older sister and the younger
Yeah.
brother, which is the reverse
Yeah.
of who we are. But me and PJ stopped talking for like 3 months because I didn't want to play basketball anymore.
Well, it kind of broke my heart that you know made it to 4'11" and you wasn't getting any taller. I said, man, this is over. I can't. What's she gonna do, man? Throw it at the net. but
I
yeah.
love that
So
your passion is in your work, though. That's really
yeah,
what this is.
for
Like,
real. So much so that it wakes me up out my sleep. I mean, like for real though. You know, like I toss and turn at nights, and Rashawn is just like, "What's wrong with you? Like, what? Is it me? You know?" I'm just like, "Bro, like you gotta chill. It's not you. I just got some ideas." You know, so there were times where I would go to sleep at 2:00 in the morning and wake me up at 4:00. You know, so I would only be off for 2 hours of sleep, but it's because it was calling me. It was calling me. So anyway, I'm getting off tangent. So anyway, the backwards of rectangle is for elementary, but I said, man, you know, it would be even cooler to ease them in another way earlier. So I said, all right, let me write a baby book. How would I write a baby book though? Do I do more shapes? Do I do numbers? Let's start with letters. Letters got 26. We got 26 letters. 26 letters is 26 pages. Intro, outro, that's 32. So forth and so on. You got the cover that's going to wrap around it. So before it's over, it's going to be a 38-page, 40-page publication. So I said, all right, cool, let's do it. Boom. So once we did that, I came out with J is for Jump Shot.
I love that book.
Thank you. Let's give it up for the homies in the back. If y'all can see it, that's the whole squad right there. That's the whole lineup.
I love Sap. So for those of you that don't know, Sap or Sapphira, she's one of the characters in the book who really goes in with STEM. Everything STEM. And
yeah, that's Sap right here.
Yes, I am everything education. So to see her and to see the work and everything come together, I'm like, listen, when you got Sap's merchandise ready, I'm buying my player.
Oh, it's all like Donkey Kong. You know what time it is. But also too, I still wanted to keep it hip hop. So I said, well, how could I blend that, right? So boom, this right here, this pose right here with Castro and Sap, that's the old Raekwon and Ghostface Purple Tape cover.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I just took the pose. Everything else is me, you know what I mean? But I took the pose because I wanted to give them made props, man. You know, Wu-Tang was one of the people that was a group that we all grew up listening to, but you know, Wu to me was it, right? So then I said, man, let me keep going. So this is actually my rendition of the Illmatic cover for Nas. Right, all of the buildings in the back and Nas in the front.
That's so dope. That is so dope. I love that. Wow.
So and even so that inside the joint, I made sure I showed love. Peace to Nas.
And you know, it's crazy because you're hitting all the boroughs with it, right? You're born in Brooklyn, raised in Brooklyn, but as a Staten Island resident, you hit that home right there.
And Queens.
Because you was out there with us. Exactly.
So that's crazy. I didn't even think of that. Wow. Look at how crazy that happened because now we got the Biggie cover. Right? So we got Biggie because obviously everybody know who Biggie is, right?
Yeah,
so,
and that's the Biggie baby. That's right there.
You feel me? So I had to give him his props. Rest in peace to Biggie, right? So that's actually bugged out. I didn't even think of that. So you're right. I was born in Brooklyn, right? Raised in Brooklyn and in Queens. And now I live in Staten Island. That's bugged out. I never even thought of that. That's how organic it caught out. God is good. Word.
It was just who you are. And Ashley said, books truly by us, for us. Representation matters.
You know what time it is.
When I go into the classroom, I definitely want my students to feel that joy and love of learning through things that they can relate to. And so often they don't have the opportunity to see themselves in literature. And you are opening that door or addressing that inequity that we have and really allowing room for people like us to believe in our education and then to invest in ourselves, because when we see ourselves in education, we then begin to want to learn. We think
Yeah,
that learning is kind of cool because the book is cool and what we're doing is cool. And
all of it.
I mean, to just be quite frank, Black people are pretty cool. So
For
if
real.
you're not going to make education cool, we're not going to be interested. So I
Yup.
love what you're doing because you've taken the world of education and made it fun. So I don't have to teach my kids what an angle is by drawing an angle. I can have them jump into the book, go
It's
on a
on every
basketball
single
court,
backboard in
and then,
America.
thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And
Thank
now
you.
when kids go to the court, they can say, "Oh snap! Well, you know, the top of the key in that whole circle is 360 degrees, right? If you cut it at the half, if you cut it at the free throw line, now it's 180. Well, what else looks like 180 degrees? The whole 3-point line perimeter, that's 180, right? All right, cool. Well, what's another 360 degree circle right there at half court? But now you got half court that's made up of 2 squares. If you put the 2 squares together, it becomes a full court in a rectangle. So I'm really just trying to, use basketball to explain school as opposed to school explain it back, because kids can get lost in school, right? Because not everybody got cool teachers. Not everybody's got the patience to do it. Not everybody, has older brothers or sisters or aunts or uncles, moms and dads that'll take the time out to, do their homework with them. So if I'm just like, man, as long as I can do my part the way I know how, we can have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We can have some fun.
Wesley said, "Dope work, PJ. This is fire. This is
Oh,
fire."
I got something better.
Absolutely.
I didn't know if I was gonna do this, but I have to do this only because he said something. So give me 1 second.
All right, and while he's going, Terrence said, "This is great, PJ. Awesome." So you're getting a lot of good feedback from just this concept. And until he comes back, I just want you guys to know and to understand my vision for education and how I truly planned and intend to transform how education is delivered to Black and brown children. He's doing in the literary world. We never had a conversation about it. He asked me one day, "Court, this is what I'm trying to do. I want your input." And I sat there blown away, showing him my vision and then him showing me his. And once we realized we were on the same exact path of alignment,
Crazy.
I was like, I haven't lived with PJ since you was in high school, since you went to college. And that was 2004, 2003.
Son, how you giving away my age, bro?
But I just need the people to understand that
Yeah.
path and alignment is important because you are truly walking in your purpose and using these books to deliver it. And this passion project that you have is only the beginning of revolutionizing the interest that Black and brown people have for education. And I'm a fan. I am a fan.
So what I wanted to show was the finished map, right? So this is the finished map of the city of Bracketville. Can you see it, or is this too big? Is that
stay
good?
right
Can you
there.
see that?
A little bit lower. Right there. The city of Bracketville. Woo! I wish that it was a little bit closer, but I know that everybody won't be able to see everything. He has hospitals. He has the mayor's office. He has universities. He has homes and street corners. Everything is mapped out to the T. The basketball courts, the different teams, the 4 rival components. He hand drew this all.
So that's where it brings me, right? Because my mayor said, thank you for the art, for the compliment, for the artwork. I wanted people to know and understand just how this poured out of me. This is the original sketch.
Woo!
That's the original sketch. Right?
I remember the Honey Dome.
This is the original sketch, bro. So, this is after I put it into the software to make it all tight, tighten it up. But look, this is the original sketch, man, And when I had showed people this, they was like, "Yo, P, you're crazy. What is that? Like, where's this going? What are you doing?" And I, it was in the beginning, I was like, "Yo, am I crazy? Why everybody keep saying that?" But then it just kept calling me. So I said, if I don't finish this, I'm gonna explode.
Yeah.
I'm gonna explode. So I had to get it out. I had to do it. I had to do what I needed to do because if I didn't, it just wasn't gonna. I was gonna be off the rocker somewhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, thank you for all of the compliments to the artwork, man. Because Yo, I poured everything I had into it, son. Everything. I mean, like, I can't even explain. You gotta think. I walked up to one of Summer's my daughter. I walked up to one of Summer's teachers, right, and I handed him one of the novels, Castro and Sap. And he was like, man, you know, how long did it take you to do this? I've been working on my. Oh no, he said his brother-in-law. He said my brother-in-law's been working on his novel for 9 years. How long did it take you? I said 9 years. I did this in 7 months.
7 months. That's what dedication and commitment does, right?
Bruh,
So
you gotta think.
Kwasi said, PJ the creative. Terrence said, amazing, bro. This is what the community needs. And I'm with it. But before you tell me more about what you currently have, can you give us a little insight about what's coming next? Because right now we see 3 books. But when I saw your plan, I was like, whoa. So what do we have
looking
to
for
look
an
forward
exclusive,
to?
man. You're looking for an exclusive.
A little bit.
All right. So I'm halfway through the second novel. It's called Castro and Sap, The Existential Strategy to Dominate Iverson Day. Right?
Iverson Day. You know, I'm Team Iverson all day. But
you know, everybody's Team Iverson, man. You know that. So I got the second novel. Maybe I was thinking Christmas, but I don't know. I gotta let it come to me. You know what I'm saying? I had to take a break from it because I needed to finish these things. But we got all kinds of stuff coming. Let me just run you through a couple of things. Let me just get these out the way. Well, we got these bags on the way.
No layup. I love those bags.
Everybody that played ball had a coach that grew up and told them, if they come into the middle of the paint, you put them on their butt. No layups. So you know that's one thing that's coming. And then we got a bunch of these shirts. You know, you got court visionary.
And I already claimed that was for me. Like, y'all don't even know. I understand it's a basketball court, but I'm a visionary. So to see that, I was like, you did this for me and didn't even know it.
We got
I believe in me.
Tees. And you know, this is just summer 2020 collection, because in the fall, it gets funky in the fall.
So
it gets funky in the fall. And then
go ahead.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I had a sneak preview to what you have dropping, and I'm so excited. Like, I cannot wait to see it drop and then show the people my exclusive, because I got my pieces at home that I'm ready to just throw on and be like, yeah, this is Bracketville. What you know about that?
You know that. And I got the I Believe in Me and Heather Blue. Oh, man. All right. I can't give you too much, but I'm going to give you a little bit. So this is one of the sweaters for Gervin High School, right? Gervin High Iceman. That's coming soon. Let me see if y'all can see that.
That's Castro's team. For those of you that don't know, that's the main character. He left Bracketville. He left the family to go be with Gervin High. I'm not a fan of Castro right now.
So I was like, man, you know, each quadrant is named after, except for Bracketville County, is named after one of my favorite old school ball players. So the 4 quadrants is Bracketville County. You got the township of Gervin, which is named after George Gervin, the Iceman. Then you got the borough of Kirkland, which is named after Pee Wee Kirkland, one of the street ball legends. I met mad famous people in my life, right? Pee Wee Kirkland is the only one that made me cry. When I met Pee Wee Kirkland, I was like, bruh, like this is my guy. You know what I'm saying? And then last but not least, Archibald County, that's named after Nate Tiny Archibald. So with Gervin, I was like, well, if he's called the Iceman, you know, what can we name the gym? It can't just be the gym, right? So I said, man, they play in the igloo, right? All the seats is blue. The court is, this is the igloo right here. That's the cover right there. That's the igloo. This is the igloo naked. But once I have all kinds of newspaper clippings that's coming out. I have a bunch of bookmarks that's going out to everybody that's ordering books. So look, when y'all order stuff, know that Bracketville is always going to do its best to give you more. You know what I'm saying? So BracketvilleBooks.com, hit it. Okay, so Pete. So I said, man, you know, the Iceman gotta play in an igloo, right? And then I said, well, what does the Iceman look like? And then I said, man, there's a Marvel character named the Iceman, and he looks bald and blue and odd. And I said, man, I don't want that kind of Iceman. I want a black Iceman. So I had this right here. Boom. That's the Iceman right there. That's our Iceman.
That's right. That's our
You know,
Iceman.
that's
And look
our
at
Iceman.
just the prints and the way that he was designed. It makes me feel like I'm at home. It makes me feel
Word.
like I have some culture. And Lenny said Gervin Iceman is tough. Cash said that's dope.
Yo, Cash, what's good,
UK
baby?
baby, UK BK baby said I like that. And said
That's
PJ's
Linda. That's my
always
godmother.
working. Oh hey Auntie Linda, how you doing, girl? So
Word.
we
So,
definitely have so much common.
got the
Court
court vision
vision.
pillows.
That's the
That's the Bracketville
Bracketville
Billy
Billy
Goat.
Goat. Yes.
Yup. Word. So, like I said, man, this is all, just out of my bones, man. I just had to get it out. And I just thank God that he gave me a tool to reach these kids, right? And to, perhaps make a living for myself and the family and things of that nature, and be able to work with Courtney and be able to work with, Gabby in the future, Nye and everybody else. Like, it's just, even Tariq, he basketball's in his system. He can't
That's
shake it,
right.
So just being able to provide outlets for people, because I'm like, yo, also a lot of kids think they're gonna go pro, right? But the odds of them going pro is very slim to none. If you look at it, it's like 300 basketball players in the NBA. There are millions of people that play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, the
Absolutely.
odds of
Yeah.
you getting in, so none. But just because you can't be a player doesn't mean that you can't have a career in basketball, right? What if people are layered, right? So I'm just like, well, if this person really likes basketball but really likes fashion, how come we can't put those two together and figure out a way to get this basketball player to design uniforms, right? People love basketball and they love to cook. How come they can't be chefs, for the team? Right? This person loves math and science and basketball. How come this person can't be one of the team doctors? And like, I'm just like, bro, like there's gotta be mad different places that these kids can fit, right? Because the jobs are not there. It's just that we ain't got them, right? So when you talk about upper management and ownership and all that stuff, all of those faces don't look like our faces.
That's
All the
right.
faces on the court look like our faces, right? So I'm like, how come we can't start teaching them how to play and how to coach at 8? Now they're thinking the game differently. You know what I'm saying? So this is more than me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than us. This is just, I just really kind of just wanted to do what it's going to do. I just wanted to dance a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just dance a little bit. Just dance a little bit.
Get your life feet going. I definitely hear that.
Oh, man.
Just so people are aware, right? Because this has been a work in progress for some time now. Like
about 2 years. About 2 years I disappeared. About 2 years, I had to really take a step back because everything wasn't right in my life. To be quite honest, things weren't right in my life. I was doing graphic design. I was working with Capital One. I was working with National Urban League. I was working with, all of these companies that were, they were cutting checks. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But it wasn't satisfying me. It wasn't satisfying my soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, now, if look at this, the pandemic, right? I walked away from all of that graphic design stuff in January. At the top of the year, I told all of my clients, I said, I gotta go. I didn't know where it was gonna go. I didn't know where it was gonna come from, but I knew I had a little bit of money saved. But I said, man. Oh, and just so that everybody else out there know, they don't know, but they will know. Yo, I started this whole thing with $1,413.
That's it. So you guys got a dream. If you have at least $1,400, you have no excuse. At the very minimum.
And people spend $1,400 on a trip to Dubai. You know what I'm saying? So it's just about what you want to do with your life.
That's
right? People walking around here with Hermes belts and the red bottom sneakers and all that kind of other nonsense. I'm walking around here in mine.
That's
you know
right.
What I'm saying? In mine.
That's
I make
right.
my own clothes. I'm not because too, you gotta think. Ralph Lauren is not wearing FUBU or Rock any of the other black. They're not wearing our stuff, right? And it's not to throw shade at anybody or anything like that. But it's just that it's time now to take care of each other.
Jazzy said Boots is wearing Bracketville too. That's
of course he is.
That's right.
Of course he is.
And it's so funny that you said that because I was just on Twitter this morning randomly, and this is why it's just so freaky how aligned we are. But I was just talking about how growing up, I was never that kid into labels because, you know, we were always exposed to the music industry and different artists through daddy and everybody else in our family that was
Yeah.
around famous people. So I never had the inclination to wear somebody else's clothing unless I was getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Because if I'm walking around like a billboard, I better be getting a check out of it.
So now
So
imagine how all those NCAA players feel.
That's where I was going with it. And it's crazy because Bracketville allows you the opportunity to see representation in yourself. And it's like you can't get any better than that.
Man, I'm like, look, you got this, which I also did by the big one so that everybody can see, right? Look at that. They in
That's
the project.
the team. That's the team in the hood, in the project.
The hood. Look, you got basketball, the crates nailed to the trees, right? So now imagine how growing up in Flatbush, growing up in Queens, growing up everywhere, it's like everybody knows what a crate looked like, you know, nailed to the tree.
That's
right? So and everybody know what I mean. If you wasn't old enough to go to the park, you know, by yourself, you just nailed a milk crate onto the tree, right? And the fact that everybody looks like us is just a bonus.
I love it. And the inspiration behind it is beautiful. So Coach Briss right there with the pink on, I love him. He's hilarious. Yes, that's Coach Briss.
But don't call it pink though. Don't call it pink though. It's salmon and vermilion. You heard?
Oh yeah, salmon and vermilion.
Salmon and vermilion. Word.
So I know we only have 5 minutes left. I want you to just let us know. I know. Usually I only do a half hour. I went over extra 15 minutes because I had to have you on. And I'm like, hey, Bracketville Books is going to be in every single school. We claim it, calling it right now. And I just want you to drop us off with some gems. What can we leave? All right,
cool. I'm going to drop you off with this gem right here. Yo, I want y'all to go on iTunes or go on Tidal or whatever and look up Band from Bracketville. Right? Band from Bracketville is a record that I wrote and performed and did everything in the studio. I literally bought my basketball, my sneakers, I bought a net, I bought pom-poms, all those things. And I took them to the studio and I created all of those sounds, right? Never been in the studio a day in my life before. I mean, with Livy and everybody else to hang out, but I was never really the subject, right? I was never really the subject. But then I was like, yo, music was waking me up out of my system too. So when you say leave you with some jewels and gems, it's like Bracketville County was known for its defense. Bullets got lazy and then they started reaching. They could just stop teaching. His own started leeching. Defensive schemes getting locked in the precinct. So I'm just, son, I'm doing all the voices, even the voices in the back, the ad-libbing. I'm doing all of those things, man, because, you know, it's just got to get to where it's got to go. And the more gas it got, the further we're going to push it.
And when you guys, so I pinned Band from Bracketville on Tidal and iTunes. You guys should be able to see that so you know what to search when you check it out. As you see it and you listen to it and you hear the different voices, please understand that's all him. So when you hear those high-pitched girls, that's PJ. When you hear it go
this man to man just can't stand you, gamble. Hope they ban you, damn you.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I'm feeling real Eddie Murphy yesterday.
You should. That's the vibe I got.
I'm feeling real Jamie Foxx today. You know? So look, don't let nobody tell. First of all, don't even tell yourself what you can't do.
That's right.
That's what I'll leave you with. Don't never tell yourself what you can't do. Try it first. And not only don't ever tell yourself what you can't do, but don't let nobody else tell you what you can't do.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know you. First of all, you don't even know you yet. Right? You ain't push yourself to the brink to where you can find out just how good you can be. You know what I mean?
That's
just how dominant you could be, how creative you could be, how diligent. Yo, after I did all of this stuff, I still gotta hustle it. I walked into Barnes and Nobles before all the COVID. I did all these. I went door to door selling these books, bro. And I said, man, that's not enough. We need more books because yo, why not? Also, last thing. So, August. We had a August something date for the release virtual launch party, but we'll talk about that another time.
August 17th, virtual launch.
August 17th, virtual launch is gonna be crazy. But yo, and last thing, right? Every time Bracketville has an event, have your kids bring the book, right? when they bring the book, they're gonna get what you call a bounce passport stamp, right? A bounce passport stamp. And every 7 bounce passport stamps you get something new and creative from Bracketville. The reason is not because I want to give these things away, but it's because I want kids to have a reason to walk with books. Highlighters, pencils, pens, whatever, book bags, all kinds of things, man. The more we put these books in our kids' hands, the less they look like guns to the police.
That's right. And just the idea of being like, I don't know when I'm going to be at this Bracketville event, but I need to make sure I have my book on me, because if they pop up in my school and I get my book stamped, I get something for free. That is amazing. I love the concept. I love what you're doing, PJ. Guys, BracketvilleBooks.com. Please check him out. With the last 2 minutes, I'm just going to sum up what it is that I have from him. And what I am hearing is that do not create doubt before you have attempted hope. Right? Do not allow yourself to be subjected to fear. Remove the imposter from your life so that you can venture out into avenues of success. So,
and when people say you powerful beyond belief, believe it, because you are.
That's right.
And look, I did these things on my own so that I can tell kids you can do it too. Amen. This is not even 2 years in the making. This is 18 months in the making, right? So if I can write a novel, halfway through the second novel, 4 movie scripts, write and illustrate all of my books, the maps, the clothes, all these things are under 18 months. Y'all got no excuse. Get to work.
No excuses. And with the last minute, I want to say and leave the people, no excuses. BracketvilleBooks.com. Log on. Buy a couple copies. You'll get some free bookmarks and different things along with it.
Come on, man, stop giving it away.
All right. I'm sorry, but I tell you this. Your kids will begin to love learning, and that's where it's at.
That's where it's at. Thanks, Coco, for having me. Yo, it's been wonderful. It's been fun. Yo, this is just the beginning.
And Jazzy said, I believe in me. We believe in you too. Have a good one. Thank you for coming. I'm going to shoot you a call right after we get off. Love you too. Bye, guys. Thank you for tuning in. With Courtney. Let's grow together.